There are so many myths revolving around vaginal health, and it's so unfortunate that most of our women are falling prey to these tricks and these lies. Now, today we want to talk about two myths that have been revolving around the health of the vagina that most of you have gone through and you still practice up to now. So it's time to change. Number one, that eating or consuming pineapples will help you either clean or make your vagina taste sweet. And I'm using quotes and quotes for that word sweet, because if at all you thought that the sweetness of the vagina will be tested by the penis of the man, that is a lie, because the penis has no taste buds. And again, if you thought that you're trying to make that vagina sweet so that a man can get to lick and feel the sweetness of your vagina, again, that's misconception. Why am I saying that? The vagina was not designed for licking. The vagina is an organ that is supposed to receive sperms from the penis of a man. So it's just a receptive organ for sperm. Okay? We all know that in the modern generation, sex is for recreation and not for procreation anymore. That is understandable. However, do not allow a man to lick your vagina. The reason why I'm saying that is because vagina has a lot of bacteria, and this bacteria can be introduced into your vaginal tract and therefore start causing you urinary tract infections. Remember that in your vagina, you have normal flora. You have the bacteria and the fungi that exist to maintain the pH and the cleanliness of the vagina. So this bacteria or this normal flora also balances out the bad bacteria. So it helps you as a form of immunity to protect you from getting infected by the bad bacteria. And if you start introducing new bacteria in the vagina through the saliva, then you might overwhelm your normal flora. And this might cause either opportunistic infections or just infections in general. Again, I already told you that the penis has no taste buds. So it will never sense the sweetness of your vagina, because again, to a man, sex is in the mind. So if at all your intention was doing this for the sake of the man, you're getting it all wrong. Okay? Then finally, remember, pineapples are sugary fruits. They have a lot of sugar. Okay? Even specifically modern pineapples, they are high in sugar. And this sugar can act as a medium or culture for feeding bacteria and yeast. So once you start feeding them, then they start to overgrow. Once they overgrow, then you'll end up getting that urinary tract infection. So that is myth number one. Number two, that you can use yogurt to clean your vagina. I know that yogurt was considered to have lactobacilli, and lactobacilli is part of the microorganisms that help you maintain the pH of the vagina through possibly fermentation processes. So it yields lactic acid that is very essential in the maintenance of the pH of your vagina. However, pasteurized yogurt, the one that you buy in the supermarket shelves, has no nutritional value, has no bacteria at all, and it's just full of sugar and chemicals that totally mess up your system generally. Now, since it has sugar, we already mentioned that in the first myth, that sugar feeds fungi. Also, sugar feeds bacteria. So it's a culture media for these microorganisms. And therefore, if you continue consuming that sugar with the hope that it will help you clean your vagina, you're also getting it wrong, because you're just loading your body with sugar, which definitely will, one, lower your immunity, and therefore you'll have high chances of getting opportunistic infection like candida. Number two, the sugar itself is a culture for growth of these microorganisms. So apart from it messing your system systemically by just lowering your immunity, it again feeds this bacteria and this fungi, and therefore you'll end up getting these urinary tract infections. So avoid yogurt by all means. It doesn't play any role in cleaning your vagina. If at all you have to use a product that has high lactobacilli, then definitely go for fermented milk that is straight from the cow. Ferment it in your gut, and then do not boil it, because once you boil it, you kill this bacteria. So ferment it in your gut, and then use it without adding sugar. Okay? So that is how you're supposed to do it. However, I want you to know that the vagina is a self-cleansing organ, and therefore it doesn't need your help. It was designed that way, just like the ear and the nose. So sometimes you have to clear the nose, the same way sometimes you have to clean the vagina. However, it can survive on its own, and it has all the mechanisms to help it cleanse itself. Do not use medicated soaps, do not use perfumes, do not use vaginal douches, do not use yogurt or even pineapples and those fruits that you use. Preventing a vaginal infections or helping you have a healthy vagina then definitely means, one, you have to walk in the sun. Why? Because you want to stabilize your hormones so that your vagina has adequate health. And also, walking in the sun gives you vitamin D, which is basically an immune booster, and therefore you'll maintain the pH of the vagina. You'll also maintain the bacterial levels which are healthy for your vagina. Number two, eat healthy diets. Now, most of you consume a lot of sugar and processed foods. These compounds lead you into a low immunity, definitely, and that's the reason why most people who have diabetes are the ones who have more yeast and fungal infections in the vaginas. So therefore, if you want to maintain a normal and healthy vagina, then definitely start consuming healthy foods, which are basically healthy keto diets. That will prevent you from a lot of issues. Again, do not use these products, medicated soaps, the ones I just mentioned above. Do not use them because they mess the pH and the bacterial level or concentration of your vagina. Then if at all you go to the toilet and you use water, make sure you dry up your vagina thoroughly so that you don't create that filthy environment for bacteria and fungal growth. Above all, avoid overdressing. Then again, we all know if you have to wipe, then wipe from front to back. So this will help you prevent yeast and urinary tract infections. But for general health of the vagina, use the sun, utilize the sun, healthy keto, avoid sugar because sugar is the media for growth of this bacteria, and then have a dry and well-kept vagina.